The race to establish a human presence on the moon has just received another big boost. India's Chandrayaan-3 mission has uncovered evidence suggesting lunar water may be more accessible.
Chandrayaan-3 rover has captured the moon's image just prior to touchdown.
Something strange is happening on the moon, and it's not science fiction. When India's Chandrayaan-3 landed at the moon's south pole, the world celebrated. But what the rover found beneath the surface has left scientists in shock. A mysterious material that breaks the known laws of physics. A Nobel Prize winner now says, "We are not ready for what was found on the moon." What did Chandrayaan-3 really uncover on the moon?
India's ambitious lunar mission has uncovered compelling evidence that water ice exists in far greater quantities and more accessible locations.
Join us as we dive into the terrifying twist that has shocked the global scientific community. Chandrayaan-3 discovers something mysterious on the moon. Something on the moon is not what it seems, and Chandrayaan-3 may have just woken it up. When India launched Chandrayaan-3, it wasn't just another mission to the moon. It was a bold comeback. A second chance after Chandrayaan-2's heartbreaking crash in 2019. This time, the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, got everything right. The Vikram lander touched down softly and precisely near the moon's south pole, a place no other country had dared to go. But nobody could have guessed what they were really about to find. The moon's south pole is like a frozen time capsule. It's a place locked in constant shadow, colder than even Pluto, and untouched by sunlight for billions of years. Scientists have long believed this region may hold clues to the moon's past, and maybe even the origins of life. Radar scans over the years suggested there could be frozen water hidden in the craters, along with rare minerals and metals. But what else was found on the moon? Stay tuned to find out. The idea was that landing here could open the door to future lunar colonies, but no one had ever been able to land safely until India did it. At first, the data from Chandrayaan-3 was exciting. The mission confirmed the presence of frozen water, moon dust, and valuable metals like magnesium and aluminum. These were the discoveries everyone was expecting and celebrating. But hidden behind the headlines was something else, something far stranger. Something that was never mentioned in any official press release. As the Pragyan rover rolled across the dusty surface, it started scanning the moon's soil with high-tech instruments designed to identify chemicals and minerals. What it found didn't make sense. Among the normal lunar dust was a material unlike anything scientists had ever seen before. Not on the moon, not on Earth, not anywhere in the universe. This strange substance didn't reflect light the way it should. It absorbed energy instead, almost like a sponge soaking up radiation. One engineer described it as bending light and energy in ways that defied known laws of physics. It didn't match any known mineral, and it didn't behave like anything naturally formed. It was a terrifying puzzle. If this material formed on its own, it would mean we've been wrong about material science for centuries. But if it didn't form naturally, then someone or something put it there. Even more chilling was what happened next. Chandrayaan-3's radar system was turned on to scan deeper under the surface. What it found sent chills through mission control. Several meters beneath the rover was a massive empty space. But it wasn't just a cave or a crack. The radar scans showed patterns, lines, angles, shapes, which were perfectly symmetrical. They didn't look natural. They looked like something built, like blueprints. One scientist, Dr. Michio Kaku, called them metallic, organized, deliberate, and likely ancient. This void wasn't small either. It was big enough to hold a small city. And then came the strangest part: heat. Thermal sensors began picking up temperature changes deep underground. The moon has been geologically dead for billions of years. It has no active volcanoes or tectonic plates. So where was the heat coming from? Could it be an unknown energy source, a functioning machine? Or was it something even more unimaginable, An ancient alien system still alive under the surface? As questions piled up, the rover itself started acting strangely. It stopped following commands. Its data started coming back garbled. Its path became erratic. ISRO said it was probably a mechanical failure, but some insiders weren't so sure. One engineer claimed the problems began exactly when the rover crossed over the deepest part of the underground void. Another hinted the mysterious material might have been interfering with the rover's electronics, like it was reacting to the rover's presence. And then, nothing. Silence. Pragyan stopped transmitting. No warning, no final signal. Just dead air. It didn't feel like a simple technical issue. It felt like a door had been opened that shouldn't have been touched. And now, whatever lies under the moon's south pole may have taken notice. So what really happened on the moon? Did we just uncover evidence of ancient technology? Could it be alien? Could it even be human, from a forgotten age of history? Or is it something completely beyond our imagination? But before going deeply into that, let's take a quick look at how Chandrayaan-3 came to be. Stay tuned. A look back at Chandrayaan-3. The Chandrayaan-3 mission made history in August when it successfully landed on the moon's south pole, just days after Russia's Luna 25 mission failed in a similar attempt. This contrast between success and failure quickly turned the world's attention to India and its growing achievements in space exploration. Unlike Luna 25, which ended in disappointment, Chandrayaan-3 smoothly landed and immediately began sharing exciting updates. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, proudly announced that the Vikram lander had deployed its onboard rover just a day after landing. The six-wheeled rover had traveled to the moon tucked safely inside the lander and was gently rolled out onto the surface using a ramp. Once free, it began its mission to explore the lunar South Pole, a region that had never been visited before. ISRO described the rover's work as a pursuit of lunar secrets, especially in one of the coldest and least understood places on the moon. Weighing about 1,700 kilograms, the lander was a powerful machine, and the 26-kilogram rover carried several scientific instruments. These tools were designed to study the moon's regolith, the dusty soil-like surface layer, search for signs of water ice, and investigate the moon's extremely thin atmosphere. One of the rover's most important instruments was a laser that could determine the chemical composition of the lunar soil. It also had a small seismometer to detect quakes, helping scientists understand what goes on beneath the surface of the moon. According to ISRO, all instruments were working normally and sending back valuable data. While the agency didn't share updates every day, it did post occasional results on social media. The rover traveled over 100 meters across the moon's surface and even managed to take photographs of the lander from different angles during its journey. One experiment focused on measuring the temperature at different soil depths. To everyone's surprise, the surface was much hotter than expected. Scientists had predicted the surface temperature to be between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, about 68 to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. But it turned out to be a scorching 70 degrees Celsius, 158 degrees Fahrenheit. The rover also managed to detect seismic activity, meaning there were rumbles or tiny moonquakes coming from deep within the moon. This kind of information is extremely valuable for understanding the moon's interior structure. Another exciting discovery came from a spectroscope on board the rover, which confirmed the presence of sulfur near the South Pole. Sulfur isn't something we commonly expect to find on the moon. So now scientists are trying to figure out how it got there. Did it come from a volcanic eruption millions of years ago? Was it delivered by a meteorite? Or could it be naturally occurring in that region of the moon? On September 2nd, ISRO put the rover into sleep mode as the sun began to set over the lunar South Pole. The moon's night is long and freezing, and the rover relies on sunlight to function. Before shutting it down, the team made sure the solar panels were carefully positioned to catch the first rays of light when the sun rose again. ISRO posted a hopeful message, saying that if the rover wakes up with the sunrise, it will take on a new set of assignments. If not, it will remain there forever as India's lunar ambassador. Just when it seemed like the mission was winding down, the Vikram lander pulled off another incredible move. On September 4th, it reactivated its engines and performed a small hop, lifting about 40 centimeters off the surface and landing just a short distance away. This wasn't just for show. ISRO wanted to demonstrate an important piece of technology, the ability for a lander to lift off the moon's surface again. This skill is essential for future missions that plan to bring back moon rocks or even send astronauts who would need to return to Earth. Chandrayaan-3's success is more than just a technical win for India. It shows the world what is possible with determination, smart engineering, and careful planning. It also sets the stage for bigger dreams, not just exploring the moon, but perhaps building bases there and one day traveling even farther into space. However, Chandrayaan-3 suddenly disappeared, but what exactly caused that? Keep watching to find out. The missing Chandrayaan-3. Michio Kaku, one of the world's most respected theoretical physicists, has now stepped forward with a warning that is hard to ignore. After reviewing the scans and learning about the strange silence from India's Chandrayaan-3 rover, he called for a global coalition. His message was clear. No single country should explore the anomaly alone. What he said next shook the scientific community. We may have just awakened something not meant to be touched. As the world learned about the rover's sudden blackout and the strange discoveries beneath the moon's surface, attention turned sharply toward the Chandrayaan-3 mission. Governments that had been quietly watching from the sidelines suddenly became very alert. The mix of a mysterious substance, strange underground formations, and the unexpected failure of the rover triggered international security responses. These were the kind of protocols normally reserved for nuclear threats or space weapon alerts. Major space agencies, including NASA, United States, CNSA, China, and ESA, Europe, silently redirected their highest resolution satellites toward the moon's south pole. These agencies weren't just interested, they were worried. Reports leaked from intelligence circles claimed that U.S. military satellites had detected a strange electromagnetic disturbance just hours before Chandrayaan-3 stopped communicating. This wasn't just a random signal. It was powerful, unexplained, and closely timed with the rover's final moments. Meanwhile, Chinese officials formally requested emergency access to India's raw mission data. Their concern wasn't curiosity. It was about Earth itself. They feared the anomaly might be interfering with our planet's magnetic field, or even communication satellites in orbit. Behind closed doors, leaders and scientists began using serious language. Words like containment and threat zone entered the conversation. The Chandrayaan-3 mission had now shifted from being a scientific adventure to a full-scale planetary security issue. The fear wasn't just about what had been found on the moon, it was about what that discovery could mean here on Earth. Then came a surprising twist that no one expected. A group of independent archaeologists and astrophysicists began comparing the geometric shapes revealed by Chandrayaan-3's radar scans with patterns from ancient Indian texts. What they found shocked even the skeptics. The underground grid, the strange shapes and angles beneath the moon's south pole, closely resembled sacred geometrical designs from ancient Vedic star maps. Specifically, they looked like mandalas, ancient symbols that some believe hold the key to cosmic balance and hidden knowledge. Dr. Rakesh Verma, a scholar of Sanskrit cosmology, claimed that one particular pattern found in the moon's scans matched the exact proportions of a gateway described in the Rig Veda. In that text, the gateway is said to lead to a realm beyond the dark sky. Most scientists remained cautious, but the similarities were too precise to ignore. This opened a new door in the conversation, one where ancient knowledge, science, and space exploration might all be connected. As this debate was unfolding, something else happened. Files from inside ISRO's data system began to leak. Insiders, whose identities remain unknown, reportedly smuggled mission data and shared it with outside researchers. These leaked files pointed to something even more strange. According to the documents, samples analyzed by the rover before it went silent contained materials with unusual optical properties, something scientists are now calling photonic negative. This material didn't just absorb light, it bent it, twisted it, and possibly canceled it out completely. Some experts described it as optical dark matter. In simple terms, this substance could make something invisible, not just to the human eye, but to any kind of camera, radar, or scanner. If real, it means the moon may contain a natural or artificial material capable of cloaking an object, or even an entire structure. No light, no signal, no trace. That kind of technology, if it exists, goes beyond anything science has ever seen. All of this leads to a chilling thought. If something was built under the moon's surface long ago, and if that structure was hidden with a material that can bend light and energy, then what we're dealing with is not just a new scientific discovery. It could be the first proof of a technology that predates our own. Whether that technology is alien, ancient human, or something else entirely, the truth is simple and terrifying. We are no longer just exploring the moon. We are waking it up. What's next for Chandrayaan-3?
Beneath the dusty lunar surface lies an unexpected abundance of trapped water ice.
With the world watching closely, Chandrayaan-3 now sits silent beneath the shadows of the moon's south pole. But the most terrifying question is no longer what was discovered, it's what might happen next. This mission was meant to be a triumph of science and exploration, a symbol of how far humanity has come. And for a brief moment, it was. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, achieved something no other country had before: a successful landing near the moon's south pole. The lander touched down perfectly, and the Pragyan rover began exploring the powdery, untouched soil of this mysterious region. But what followed wasn't just science. It was something stranger, darker, and far more unsettling. What if the moon isn't just a dead rock floating in space? What if it's something more, a container, a vault, holding knowledge or technology from a time before our recorded history even began? This question, once the stuff of science fiction, has now crept into the minds of scientists, thinkers, and even world leaders. The south pole of the moon was long considered too risky to land on. It is colder than Pluto, constantly in shadow, and filled with deep craters. But that might not be why it remained untouched. What if it wasn't ignored because it was dangerous, but because it was never meant to be disturbed? The silence of the rover might not be a failure. It might be a message. World governments took notice. Security protocols usually reserved for nuclear emergencies were suddenly activated. Military satellites were redirected toward the landing site. NASA, the European Space Agency, and even China's space agency requested access to ISRO's data. Rumors swirled that a strange electromagnetic pulse was detected just before the rover died. A few even whispered about disruptions to Earth's own magnetic field. Physicist Michio Kaku, after reviewing the data, didn't offer comfort. He said simply, "There are things buried in this universe we were never supposed to touch, and now we may have touched one." With Chandrayaan-3 now silent beneath the moon's shadows, many are asking, what's next? Officially, the mission achieved its main goals. The Vikram lander touched down safely near the moon's south pole, and the Pragyan rover explored more than 100 meters of lunar terrain, sending back valuable data. ISRO confirmed the presence of sulfur and measured surface temperatures much higher than expected. These discoveries are crucial for future lunar exploration, especially in the search for water ice and understanding the moon's geology. But the mission isn't fully over. ISRO had hoped to revive the rover once the lunar night ended, positioning its solar panels to catch the returning sunlight. So far, no signal has returned, but ISRO continues monitoring, hoping for a possible reawakening. If the rover remains dormant, it will still serve as a silent monument to India's success, a lunar ambassador, as ISRO put it. Beyond the science, Chandrayaan-3 has raised deeper questions. The unexpected electromagnetic anomalies, the strange material some have called optical dark matter, and the underground geometric patterns detected beneath the surface have sparked global interest and concern. Scientists across the world are now analyzing the data, and there's growing interest in follow-up missions, both from ISRO and international partners, to return to the South Pole with better equipment and possibly even sample return technology. Whether Chandrayaan-3 uncovered something ancient, artificial, or simply misunderstood, it has opened a new chapter in lunar exploration. What comes next may shape how we see not just the moon, but humanity's place in the cosmos. For now, we wait, watching the moon, waiting for the silence to break, and preparing for the next bold step into the unknown. But what if it uncovered something we weren't ready for? Something ancient, hidden, and watching? What if the moon's south pole was never a final frontier, but a threshold, a boundary not crossed for a reason? We built a machine, we sent it across space, and when it touched that place, we didn't just lose a rover, we may have lost control of the story. Scientists have gone quiet, satellites are being adjusted, and theories are giving way to warnings. One truth is becoming hard to deny. We may not have been the first to arrive at the moon's south pole, and we may not be alone in watching what happens next. So, what do you think Chandrayaan-3 really uncovered? Ancient technology? A natural mystery? Or something not from this world? Let us know your opinions in the comments section below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Click on the next video displayed on your screen. You will enjoy it.